Good morning. Welcome back to Ladybug Grace Bible in a Year edition. Here's where we are, the 17th. Yeah, we're caught up finally. 1 Kings 3 and 4, Psalm 137, and Revelations 2. We'll see if it's one video or two videos as we go through this. I don't really know. I didn't look at it yet. I probably should have, but here we go. So, 1 Kings 3. Just hang on a second. Solomon's wisdom. Solomon made... I'm trying to close something out here. An alliance with Pharaoh's king of Egypt and married his daughter. He brought her to the city of David until he finished building his palace. And the temple, that actually works better when I do it that way. Okay. Pages are so thin. Of the Lord and the wall around Jerusalem. The people, however, were still sacrificing at the high places, because the temple had not yet been built for the name of the Lord. Solomon showed his love for the Lord by walking according to the instructions given him by his father David, except that he offered sacrifices and burned incense on the high places. The king went to Gibeon to offer sacrifices, for that was the most important high place. And Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon during the night in a dream, and God said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." Solomon answered, "You have shown great kindness to your servant, my father David, because he was faithful to you and the righteous and upright in heart. You have continued this great kindness to him, and have given me a son to sit on his throne this very day. Now, Lord my God, you have made your servant king in my place of my father David. But I am only a little child, and do not know how to carry out my duties. Your servant is here among the people you have chosen, a great people too numerous to count or murder. So give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours?" The Lord was pleased that Solomon had asked for this. So God said to him, "Since you have asked for this, and not for long life or wealth for yourself, nor have asked for the death of your enemies, but for discernment and administering justice, I will do what you have asked. I will give you a wise and discerning heart, so that there will never have been anyone like you, nor will there ever be. Moreover, I will give you what you have not asked for, both wealth and honor, so that in your lifetime you will have no equal among kings. And if you walk in obedience to me and keep my decrees and commandments as David your father did, I will give you a long life." Then Solomon awoke, and he realized it had been a dream. He returned to Jerusalem, stood before the ark of the Lord's covenant, and sacrificed burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. Then he gave a feast for all his court. A wise ruling. Now 2 prostitutes came to the king and stood before him. One of them said, "Pardon me, my lord. This woman and I have lived in the same house, and I had a baby while she was there with me. The 3rd day after my child was born, this woman also had a baby. We were alone. There was no one in the house but the 2 of us. During the night, this woman's son died because she lay on him. So she got up in the middle of the night and took my son from my side while your servant was asleep. She put him by her breast and put her dead son by my breast. The next morning I got up to nurse my son, and he was dead. But when I looked at him closely in the morning light, I saw that it wasn't the son I had born. The other woman said, 'No, the living one is my son, the dead one is yours.' But the first one insisted, 'No, the dead one is yours, the living one is mine.' And so they argued before the king. The king said, 'This one says, my son is alive and your son is dead. While that one says, no, your son is dead and mine is alive.' Then the king said, 'Bring me a sword.' So he brought a sword for the king. He gave them an order, 'Cut the living child in 2 and give half to one and half to the other.' The woman whose son was alive was deeply moved out of love for her son and said to the king, 'Please, my lord, give her the living baby. Don't kill him.' But the other one said, 'Neither I nor you shall have him. Cut him in 2. Then the king gave his ruling, 'Give the living baby to the first woman. Do not kill him. She is the mother.' When all Israel heard the verdict the king had given, they held the king in awe because they saw that he had wisdom from God to administer justice. Kings 4. Solomon's officials and governors. So King Solomon ruled over all Israel, and these were his chief officials: Azariah, son of Zadok the priest, Elisaphat and Ahijah, sons of Shisha, secretaries, Jehoshaphat, son of Ahilud, recorder. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, commander-in-chief. Zadok and Abiathar, priests. Azariah, son of Nathan, in charge of the district governors. Zabud, son of Nathan, a priest and advisor to the king. Ahishar, palace administrator. Adoram, son of Abda, in charge of forced labor. Solomon had 12 district governors over all Israel, who supplied provisions for the king and royal household. Each one had to provide supplies for 1 month in the year. These are their names: Ben-Hur in the hill country of Ephraim, Ben-Decker and Mahaz Shalbim, Beth-Shemesh and Elon, Beth-Han, Ben-Hez and Arubath, Sakath, and all the land of Hepher were his. Ben-Abinadab and Naphath Dor, that he was married to Tabith, daughter of Solomon. Bana, son of Ahilud, and Tanakh and Megiddo, and in all of Bethshan next to Zarethan, below Jezreel, from the Bethshan to Abel Maholim, across to Jochim. Ben-Geber in Ramoth Gilead, the settlements of Jair, son of Manasseh and Gilead, were him, as well as the regions of Argob and Bashan, and the 60 large walled cities with bronze gate bars. Ahinadab, son of Iddo, and Mehin, Ahiamaz in Naphtali, and he had married Basmath, daughter of Solomon. Benan, son of Hushai, and Asher, and Aloth. Jehoshaphat, son of Paruah, and Issachar. These were the district governors. Okay, I forgot what I was reading. The names tripped me up. Shemiel, son of Elah, and Benjamin. Solomon's daily provisions. The people of Judah and Israel were as numerous as the sand on the seashore. They ate, they drank, and they were happy. And Solomon ruled over all the kingdoms from the Euphrates River to the land of the Philistines, as far as the borders of Egypt. These countries brought tribute and were Solomon's subjects all his life. Solomon's daily provisions were 30 cores of the finest flour, and 60 cores of meal, 10 head of stall-fed cattle, 20 of pasture-fed cattle, and 100 sheep and goats, as well as deer, gazelles, roebucks, and choice fowl. For he ruled over all the kingdoms west of the Euphrates River, from Tipshah to Gaza, and had peace on all sides. During Solomon's lifetime, Judah and Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, lived in safety, everyone under their own vine and under their own fig tree. Solomon had 4,000 stalls for chariot horses, 12,000 horses. The district governors, each in his month, supplied provisions for King Solomon and all who came to the king's table. They saw to it that nothing was lacking. They also brought to the proper place their quota of barley and straw for the chariot horses and all the other horses. Solomon's wisdom. God gave Solomon wisdom and very great insight, and a breadth of understanding, as measureless as the sand on the seashore. Solomon's wisdom was greater than that wisdom of all the people of the east, and greater than all the wisdom of Egypt. He was wiser than anyone else, including Ethan the Ezrahite, wiser than Heman, Calcol, Dards, the sons of Mahol, and his fame spread to all the surrounding nations. He spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs numbered 1,005. He spoke about plant life, from the cedar of Lebanon to the hyssop that grows out of the walls. He also spoke about animals and birds, reptiles and fish. From all nations, people came to listen to Solomon's wisdom, sent by all the kings of the world, and who had heard of the wisdom. 922. We're going to go to Psalm 137. I think I may be able to get this all in one video. We'll see. Where did my bookmark go? No, don't jump him out. No. Oh, sorry, cat jumped in my lap. All right, 137. Hopefully he doesn't create a ruckus. The theme here is a person in exile weeps over the bitterness of captivity. Our sorrow can make it difficult to imagine singing joyful songs again. By the river of Babylon, we sat and wept when we remembered Zion. There on the poplars we hung our harps, for there our captors asked us for songs, or our tormentors demanded songs of joy. They said, "Sing us one of the songs of Zion." How can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a foreign land? If I forget you, Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill. May my tongue cling to the roof of the mouth. If I do not remember you, if I do not consider Jerusalem my highest joy. Remember, Lord, what the Edomites did on the day Jerusalem fell. Tear it down, they cried. Tear it down to its foundations. Daughter Babylon, doomed to destruction. Happy is the one who repays you according to what you have done to us. Happy is the one who seizes our infants and dashes them against the rocks. That is the end of 137. Now we're going to go to Revelations 2. Great. To the church of Ephesus, to the angel of the church in Ephesus wrote, These are the words of him who holds the 7 stars in his right hand and walks among the 7 golden lampstands. I know your deeds, your hard work, and your perseverance. I know that you cannot tolerate wicked people, that you have tested those who claim to be apostles but are not, and have found them false. You have persevered and have endured hardship for my name, and have not grown weary. Yet I hold this against you. You have forsaken the love you had at first. Consider how far you have fallen. Repent and do the things you did at first. If you do not repent, I will come to you and remove your lampstands from its place. But you have this in your favor. You hate the practices of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To the one who is victorious, I will give the right to eat from the tree of life, which is the paradise of God. To the church in Smyrna, to the angel of the Lord in Smyrna write, These are the words of him who is the first and the last, who died and came to life again. I know your afflictions and your poverty, yet you are rich. I know about the slander of those who say that they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Do not be afraid of what you are about to suffer. I tell you, the devil will pull some of you in prison to test you, and you will suffer persecution for 10 days. Be faithful even to point of death, and I will give you life at your victor's crown. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. The one who is victorious will not be hurt at all by the second death. To the church in Pergamum, to the angel of the church in Pergamum write, These are the words of him who has the sharp double-edged sword. I know where you live, where Satan has his throne, yet you remain true to my name. You did not remove your faith in me, not even in the days of Antipas, my faithful witness, who was put to death in your city, where Satan lives. Nevertheless, I have a few things against you. There are some among you who hold on to the teachings of Balaam, who taught Balak to entice the Israelites to sin, so that they ate food sacrificed to idols and committed sexual immorality. Likewise, you are also those who hold to the teaching of the Nicolaitans. Repent, therefore, otherwise I will soon come to you and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To the one who is victorious, I will give some of the hidden manna. I will also give that person a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one who receives it. To the church in Thyatira, to the angel of the church in Thyatira write, These are the words to the Son of God, whose eyes are like blazing fire and whose feet are like burnished bronze. I know your deeds, your love and faith, and service and perseverance, and that you are now doing more than you did at first. Nevertheless, I have this against you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophet. By her teaching, she misleads my servant into sexual immorality and the eating of food sacrificed to idols. I have given her time to repent of her immorality, but she is unwilling. So I will cast her on a bed of suffering, and I will make those who commit adultery with her suffer intensely unless they repent of her ways. I will strike her children dead. Then all the churches will know that I am he who searches hearts and minds, and I will repay each of you according to your deeds. Now I say to the rest of you, Thyatira to you who do not hold to the teaching and have not learned Satan's so-called deep secrets. I will not impose any other burden on you, except to hold on to what you have until I come. To the one who is victorious and does my will to the end, I will give authority over the nations. The one will rule them with an iron scepter, and I will dash them to pieces like a pottery. Just as I have received authority from my Father, I will also give that one the morning star. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Thank you for joining me today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I hope you have a blessed day.